Hi everybody, it's Soul Tribe Huddle. We're on the last day of our amazing blitz at the moment, but I actually wanted to, I know there's a lot of support around there to help us, with the blitz and get people on and things like that, but I actually wanted to come back and really focus on, abundance. So what would be a really cool thing that I'd really love right now is tell me, when you think about abundance, what does it mean to you? Hi, Amira. Hi, Lise. Hi, Tammy.
Hello. Sorry.
Just pop in the chat. Just pop in the chat what it is. What does abundance mean to you? I'd really love to know what it means, because it's going to mean something different to every person. So I'd just love to know where you guys are all at with that before I start talking about it. How are you, Amira and Carter? All right.
We're all right. He's staying still, which makes a really nice change.
Oh, that's good. You don't have to keep an eye on him 100 times a day.
Yeah. But I need to chase him as fast.
Yeah. Okay. So
he's on the mend, I think.
Good.
But thank you for asking.
Pleased to hear it. Nothing worse than a sick child. I see Tammy's put in there freedom. Love it, Tammy. A feeling of expansion and freedom, giving and receiving an open heart. I love that, Dom. I love that. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, anyone else want to put their interpretation of it in there in the chat before I move on? Because I just really want
In what context?
Well, just what it means to you and how you see abundance. It can be in any context that feels right for you, honey. I kind of wanted to get an idea so I knew what, how I can support you guys in terms of bringing that abundance into your lives.
What's the question? I kind of only just joined.
Oh, hi, Kerry. Sorry, honey.
Hi.
And for Dana as well, who's just joined, and Isha. So I'm just asking everybody, because I'm talking about abundance tonight. I really feel that it's important. So I'd love to know, what is your interpretation of abundance? So when you hear the word, what do you think it is? What do you think of?
Lots of something.
Lots of something.
That's literally what I was writing.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here for ages trying to think of it, and then I was writing there, and I think, but I think that's the Google definition of abundance.
Mine is just happiness.
I was like not having to wait till payday, but then it felt really shallow.
Okay, so yours was about money, particularly, Amira?
Well, it's just where most of my stress comes from at the moment, so I think it's...
Okay, that's good to know. All right, because I'm going to talk about this now. So when we think of abundance is about everything. So abundance is basically energy, right? It's a law. I know you've probably heard of the law of attraction, but actually we have a right to abundance. It's happening all the time. It happens everywhere around us all the time. It's up to us whether we are... Thanks, Lise. It's up to us whether we're tapping into that or not. And how do we do that? We do that by our mindset. So there is two different ways of thinking. There is an abundance mindset, and there's an attraction and a lack mindset. So I'm just going to find my little hoodookie WhatsApp that I had before. Just bear with me. Okay, so when we think about abundance, this is the way I see it. So, and Dom's actually put it really beautifully. It's, about giving and receiving, and that's what I see that abundance is. So when we have an open heart and we give, we are actually more abundant than if we have a closed heart and we hold on to stuff. That to me is key for abundance. when you're holding on to stuff, that is because you're worried about a lack. So you're worried that there's not enough, that there's not enough to go around, but what if I give, then I'm going to lose something and I'm not going to get that back again. And that is essentially just a mindset. So you can change this and shift this, because once you start giving, what you've got to remember is the universe is going to give it back to you. You're going to get every time you give, you receive as well. It's just a law, right? It's the law of attraction. And isn't there a law too around giving and receiving? I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, it's how the universe works. So when we don't give, of course, we're not necessarily going to receive. This also, you can also think about this in terms of thought. So when we are thinking things that are really upsetting us, if we're in a really shitty mood and we can't get ourselves out of it, and we're thinking the worst of everything, we're creating scenarios in our head. Who does that? I do that all the time. Then all you're going to be doing is creating those and attracting those scenarios to you. So when you are giving out those, you are receiving those back, right? So when you have an open heart and you're open to love, abundance, good things in the world, looking at the good in everything, then you are going to be open to receiving the same things back. So let's have a look at the difference between a lack of mindset and an abundant mindset. And hey, if you guys totally be real with me, because I tell you what, this lack mindset was where I was once. So there'll be a lot of you that are probably still kind of sitting there and not really sure how to move out of that. So when you have a lack mindset, there will never be enough. An abundance mindset is there will always be more. So how many of you can relate to either of those? Right? Yeah, Joni, Kerry, love your honesty, guys. Love it. A lack mindset is that you compete to stay on the top. So you're competing with everybody, right? But when you have an abundant mindset, you collaborate with others so that everybody wins, right? So it's about supporting each other and working together so that not just you're winning, but so is everybody else, right? Okay, so again, this is having an open mind and looking at how can we give so we can receive. Now, another lack mindset is that you fear change. So change is really scary. And I tell you what, I've been here so many times. Change is scary. Whereas someone with an abundance mindset, they're going to embrace that. They're going to be open to that because change means growth, right? And it's not easy. It's not easy to do, but that's when you've got to really trust in that there's more and that I'll be okay and that everything's going to work out, right? So another lack is that you won't share knowledge. So kind of holding things to yourself, because it feels as if you're going to give too much away, that means that someone else is going to get better than you and do better than you. So again, it's all about you and what you want and what you need, rather than sharing it, that there's always resources enough for every single person and that we are not competing with each other. Remember that just because someone else, think about it in the business, right? And I tell you what, this is where comparison comes in, because comparison is really hard and it happens to all of us. It happens to me all the time. So how many of you guys go through this? Comparing yourself, to everyone else. Like, why am I not where they are? How come they're doing better than me? What is it they're doing that I'm not? I love all these hands up. This is totally me too. I compare myself all the time to the people who I work with, like the Greg Whelans of the world and the Vicky Ladlows of the world, and even Denise Whelan. Like, I'm always comparing myself. So, but this is something that we've got to be aware of, because this is a lack mentality, because we're afraid that what this is going to do is it's going to mean that if they've got it, I haven't, right? And there's not going to be enough for me. So we've got to look at how can we change that, Remember that there's always enough for every single person. Okay, so another lack mentality is that we won't offer help. So if you're someone who doesn't want to help someone else, again, it's pretty much the same with sharing knowledge. If you don't want to share things and help other people, it's because you're afraid that it means that someone else is going to do better than you. Someone with an abundant mindset is going to be generous and open and willing to support somebody else. Doesn't matter where they're at in the business. Yes, Carrie, go for it, honey.
Just a question. Amira will know where I'm coming from. Can you help too much? Can it get to a point where you can actually help too much?
Yeah, you can. You can, because we still got to have those boundaries, right? There's got to be a balance.
Okay.
So do you want to share what you mean by
that? I've got a friend going through a lot at the moment, and she's just been diagnosed with some stuff, and I feel like I'm helping a little bit too much. Like instead of becoming a friend, I've almost become a carer.
Okay. I had someone like this.
She's not wanting to help herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to admit it. And I get to the feeling that, like, I want to help her. Don't get me wrong. No one should be going through this. I feel like I've stepped over that boundary to being her carer, and kind of like that's how she sees me.
Yeah, and I've been there too with a friend, and what I had to do was I started feeling used. So gauge this on your feelings. So if you're feeling used,
well, she's my boss, so it's a little bit harder.
But you're not. But the other thing is too, if you feel like it's that she's not actually growing from it, it's just dragging your energy down, then you need to put some boundaries around, and you need to say, well, actually, this is okay, but that's not okay.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Mira said for me to do too, but I was just a little bit confused.
Yeah. But, I mean, it doesn't mean, being abundant doesn't mean that you have to be a martyr. It doesn't mean that you have
I don't want to be a martyr in any way. I actually want to almost learn how to put boundaries out.
Yeah. So then I would be really clear. I would first of all get really clear around what is okay for you and what is not okay.
Yeah.
And then
having healthy boundaries part of being abundant.
Yes, absolutely. Because you've got to look after yourself, honey. You've got to look after your energy, right?
Yeah. My work's just become, like I was trying to explain to Amira, it used to be like my happy place.
Yeah.
And right now, this right here is my happy place.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great that we're your happy place.
That's why I ran and was like, oh, shit, Huddle. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So get really clear on that and then communicate it with her so that she knows.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So another one is that, and this is huge. So something that people with lack mindset see is that the pie is shrinking. So in other words, everything's getting smaller. So not only is there not enough for everybody, but there's actually going to be even less and less. And when we think about a lot of, and I hear this a lot lately. I've got a friend who keeps sending me these videos all the time of doom and gloom around what's happening in the world. And honestly, that kind of thing is not helping. That is not abundant. Right? That is bringing in fear and creating so much lack and fear around people thinking, shit, what if we all die? What if we run out of food? What if, the world comes to an end? That is not abundant. So the more abundant we're feeling, the more that we know and trust and have faith that things are working out, that there is a better way, that there is enough for everybody, that the universe is supporting every single person, all of us, including yourself. And the more that you think about, I just want to add this too, the more that you think about when you ask for abundance for yourself, that you also ask for somebody else. So let's make it not just about you, but also about someone else. So I don't know, you might ask, bring in some extra income from me and help my neighbor who's really struggling at the moment. support her, or bring extra income to all the world, or if there's a specific area in the world that you want to help. Just when you ask for it for yourself, make sure you're asking for someone else as well. That is being open, that is being generous. Okay, so the other thing is, and this is probably the biggest part of the scarcity mindset, is that they think small, so avoids any kind of risk. So for most of us here, we've taken a risk, right? So we might have some other things that we've got going on in terms of lack, but in terms of taking a risk, we've all taken a risk. And that's not generally something that people with lack mindset will actually do, because what people with abundant mindsets will think big and will embrace the risk and will embrace change and doing something different. Okay, so when we think about changing, so is anyone kind of related to any of those kind of lack ones? Anyone? Yeah. What have you related to? Do you want to pop it in the chat just so I can see? Because what I really want to do here is I really want to support you guys to change that, right? How can you make that abundant rather than lack? I'm not about change, says Amira, and she's not on here. I can't speak to that. What a shame. I was looking forward to speaking to that. Comparing, oh my God, this is so normal, Curry. We all do this, and this is something that we all have to work with, right? Fear of risks, letting go, trusting in life. Love it, Dawn. Love your honesty there, honey. Okay. Okay, so when we think about comparison, and this is a really good exercise. So this is an exercise that I have done and that I need to do more of. So every time, so what is it that kind of, when you see, so for me, I'll tell you what it is for me. I start comparing when I see promotions going up of people that I am at the same level at, right? Yeah, you too, Curry. So it's when you see promotions, or if I see them get new team or new customers, or they go up on the ranks of getting all these customers, right? Okay, right, so you're with me. So that's where the comparison starts from. So every time, and what I have to do now is every time I see that, I go, you know what, I am enough and I have everything I need. And I immediately go onto that post and I congratulate them as if it was someone congratulating me for doing something. So well done, that's so awesome, that's so exciting, so happy for you. And then imagine what it's like and feel what it's like when you have the same. So the more that we do that, the more we're going to bring that into our life, and the less we're going to be so hung up on somebody else's achievements and you not getting them. Honestly, I have to work on this every time. So I get it. I really do get it. So in terms of, I constantly hold in my pain, I've just learned to talk about it. That's an interesting one, Dana. Wow. Okay, so fear of risks, letting go, and trusting. Oh my goodness, this is huge. So this is all about really embracing, right? This is embracing all of that and just knowing that everything is going to be okay, that everything is going to work out. So something that I have done, and this is, you know, I don't know how intuitive you are, Dom, but I'm going to speak to this for everybody. But what I do is when I have a decision that I have to make, or if I have a looming change coming up, what I will do is I will go with the excitement. So if anybody knows the difference between your intuition or your heart and your head, does anybody know the difference and how to identify? Yeah, you do, Dom. So with your heart and your soul, your intuition, it's the first feeling. It's the first feeling of excitement, happiness, joy. Now, if there's anything else that comes after that first 20 seconds, it's your head. It's your monkey mind coming in going, you know what, you can't do this, you know you're shit at this, well, you know, every time you take a risk, look what happens, you fail at everything, or, you know, whatever goes on and whatever stories your head starts telling yourself. And of course we believe it and we think, oh no, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to shut that lid and not take that on. Now you've got to tell your brain, because we've got to retrain it, and tell your brain that that's okay. You get that, and it's kept you safe for this long, but I'm not going to listen to you anymore because that's not what I want to do. That's not where I'm going. I trust in that everything is okay. I trust that this is a really good change for me. I trust that there is abundance in this. I trust that this is the right decision for me. So it's creating some affirmations, or an affirmation that's really strong, that works for you, that you're going to believe. And one of the things with affirmations is we've got to remember that it's actually, if we have an affirmation that is extreme to what we are feeling or thinking, our brain's never going to believe it. So every time you say it, your brain's going to go, oh yeah, that's just a load of crap. You know, that's never going to happen. So it's going to be harder for you to believe it. So you've got to find one that is more believable. Like, for example, sorry guys, just letting people in. So for example, I don't know, say you're always worried about being broke, not having any money, losing money or something. So instead of saying, I'm so abundant, I've got all this money coming in all the time, because every time your brain's going to tell you it's rubbish, you've got to say, well, I'm working towards creating more income or bringing in more income. So make it more realistic. And then once you start believing that, then you can change it up. So it's about taking baby steps towards believing the affirmation every time you say it. Because honestly, that's why most people give up on affirmations. They might do it for a week and then they give up because they think, what's the point? Because your brain is telling you it's a load of crap. So of course you're going to give up. It's too hard to do because it's not believable enough. And so it's finding something that's going to work for you, and every person is different. Hey, William. Hey, Jazz. Okay, so let's talk to Dana's one. Constantly holding my pain. I'm just going to talk about it. Honey, do you want to just come off mute and tell me what that's about? Just a little bit or not? You don't have to.
I just got in a different room so you don't hear my partner game.
Okay, that's good. I've just seen this, Dom. I also bounce in a rebounder when saying affirmations adds to the energy. I love that. That's great. That's perfect because you're increasing your vibration. That's the other thing about abundance too, guys, having an abundance mindset is you want to increase your vibration, your frequency, so that you're sitting in joy rather than sitting down in the dumps, because the worse we feel. So when I was talking to Curry about how are you feeling about, this person doing all this for this person, if she's feeling awful, then she's not going to feel abundant. So we've got to feel really good for us to be in alignment for that abundance to come in. And of course, the better we feel, the more likely we're going to give to others as well and be open, right? So do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. Whatever it is, like if it's bouncing on a rebounders are great. I think they're so much fun. I really miss my tramp. I used to go out there on my tramp all the time. It's so good. High vibes, great lives. Love it, William. Okay, Dana, honey, go for it.
So I guess it's kind of like reflecting around my depression and my anxiety. Like I always found it really, really hard to be open and tell people what I felt. And I guess in the last maybe 3 weeks, I've just really learned how to do that. Like as in yesterday, sorry, I had an hour and a half appointment with mental health, which has led me into doors that help me get things sorted for myself.
Wow, that's great. So the more that you're actually opening yourself up to it, the more good things are coming to you to support you to get through it, by the sound of that. Is that right?
Yeah. So for me to get my daughter back, I have to improve my mental health because I've had multiple attempts of suicide. I've tried committing suicide and I've tried overdosing myself, and it's terrible when I have a 3-year-old to think about, So I really want to change that for myself, and I don't want to be that mum, and I want to be here for my daughter, and I want to see her grow up.
Oh, you're beautiful, honey. Well, you're already doing that. You're already doing that. The fact that you're acknowledging it and you're getting the support you need, that is amazing. That is just beautiful. She's so lucky to have you. So I would just want to ask you, what is it that you do? So, you know, when you say you just want to, you know, be there for her and get better, and so what do you do to get yourself better? Besides taking this amazing product. Oh, your sound's gone. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
My partner's just asking who I'm on the phone to. I'm just on my call. So I get up in the mornings, and my partner goes to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I normally wake up then, but I don't get up. I'll have another hour or so sleep, and I get up around 8:30, and I start my day. And I normally have my capsules in at about 10:30, and I'm already cleaning the house and like making my mind and self active, so I'm not sitting and just thinking and dwelling on things.
So
Where,
you're doing exactly what I was just talking about, and that is doing something that makes you feel good, right?
Yeah, like if I was to look back at myself 6 months ago, I didn't want to get out of bed until 6 o'clock at night when dinner was cooked, because I just didn't want to face the world. I used to hide away because I went through domestic violence and with my ex-partner, my daughter's father. And, you know, I wanted to get out of that relationship, but I was so scared of myself that if I left, I was going to hurt me and I was going to hurt my daughter. But I realized as soon as I got away, I saved myself and I saved my daughter.
Oh, you're amazing, girl. You're amazing. That's beautiful. So, you know, and I mean, this is lovely. The fact that you've got a reason to do this, right? You've got your daughter, you want her back, you want to be that mum and to see her grow up. That is incredible. So, and you know, that's something else too about abundance. So the abundant energy is love. And at the end of the day, that's what we're striving for. Everything that we do is because of either love or fear. And if we are working towards love, then that is going to keep us abundant every time. And the fear is actually, so, you know, when we think about, you know, they're both emotions, right? But they're both also thoughts, and they're both also decisions that we make. So when we think about the feeling love, it feels better than fear, right? Feels a lot better than fear, doesn't it? Yeah, when we feel love, whether it's something that we're passionate about that we're doing, whether it's a relationship that we're in, or, you know, whether it's about our children, whatever it is, when we feel that love, it feels good. When we feel fear, it doesn't feel good, right? It's scary. It feels awful. It makes us feel yuck, and we just don't want to be there. But that is where most of us spend our time, and that's because our subconscious brain spends all its time there. It's always in the negative. And our subconscious is what drives us. That is what drives us. It's not our conscious mind. So our conscious mind has got to be stronger than our subconscious to be able to start changing those things. And so that's where those beautiful affirmations come in, where there's little things like doing something every day that's going to make you feel good. So if you feel yourself starting to go into that fear space, that you're afraid to take risks, that you're afraid to trust in yourself, that you start comparing yourself to other people, that, you know, you start thinking about, well, I can't help somebody else because I need it all for me. As soon as you start feeling like that, change that and step out of that and start doing something that makes you feel good. And it's not about changing your thought necessarily, it's changing your frequency, changing your vibration, feeling good. Because when you feel good, you start to think differently. Hi, Sarah May. Nice to see your face, honey. Yeah, so any questions or anything also reflects our food as well. Love it. Yes, William. I'm just seeing all these beautiful messages. You guys are so good. She is doing an amazing job. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or anything you want to ask me around it, because honestly, I could just keep talking and go into other things as well when we talk about the subconscious and the conscious brain, because this is just my jam. And, you know, there's so much that we can learn from that. But it's what you're allowing to come in. So when I talk about how love and fear is a decision, you decide whether you want to stay fearful or whether you want to stay in joy and love. And we decide that in every moment. And you can change that yourself. You know, you can make that decision where it is that you want to stay. But again, when you've got your subconscious ruling you, it's really hard to do. So that's why affirmations are really good. Doing things that make you feel good is really good. So like, and I'll give you a little example. So today I was having a difficult day. I had some stuff that came up and I was starting to feel really angry. And I don't feel angry very often, but I was starting to feel very angry because I felt like I felt like I was being disrespected. And I, you know, kind of got stuck and wallowed in this feeling of being angry and feeling disrespected, and actually underneath that feeling quite hurt. And then in that moment, I thought, what am I doing? All I'm doing is attracting exactly the same thing to me. And then you know what happened? I had all of these kind of messages came in that were disrespectful messages. There was about 3 of them all at once. And I thought, there we are. That's a really good example around the abundance of negativity that I'm bringing into my life rather than the abundance of good stuff. So what did I do? I'm like, right, I'm getting out of this. I'm not staying in this mood any longer. And so I just, you know, I just changed it. I just started thinking really joyful thoughts. I thought about all the good things that I'm really grateful for that happened today. Like, got a new team member in the system. I had a chat with one of my new girls and she was ordering a product, you know, just lots of really nice things were happening. I had a really nice conversation with my daughter, and instantly I get this beautiful message from one of the team saying, hey girl, I'm just messaging you to see how you're doing. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I never said anything to anyone and I get this beautiful message. So that is the law of attraction in motion. That is what abundance does. So as soon as we step out of that mood and change that mood, then we're just attracting really the same thing, really good things to us. So stepping out of, you know, feeling sorry for ourselves, looking at how wrong everything is, looking at the lack or the things that we don't have that we really want in our life, but rather than focusing on what's really good about what's happening and things that make you feel really, really good. So who can relate to that? I know it's a bit tricky with a baby, isn't it, Joni? Awesome. So has anybody got any questions? Because if you don't, I don't want to keep you for any longer. I just really wanted to help you guys. You know, let's spread the good, the joy, the love, the abundance in everybody's lives. Because honestly, when we think about, you know, when we're thinking about abundance as only money, that's just a fraction of what abundance is. Abundance is energy everywhere in every single thing that we do. It's in how we're feeling. It's in everything that happens to us every day. It's in our health. It's in our relationships. It's in our spirituality. It's in our physical world. It's in everything. So abundance. So if you've got an area in your life that's going really well and an area in your life that's not doing really well, then you're abundant in one and not in the other. I'd be looking at what is going on there. What are you telling yourself in that part of your life? Change your story. Change your story around it and start bringing more joy into that part of your life. Okay, so what am I grateful for about what's happening here? You know, for example, myself, I've got, you know, issues going on with my family, my siblings. And so what I've done is I've just gone, okay, well, that's okay. I can't do anything about that. I still love them, but I'm going to let that go. And so I focus on what I'm grateful about. What I'm grateful about is the fact that I actually have brothers and sisters and my mum's still here because my dad's gone. And as soon as I've done that, then it started to change that relationship and those relationships around it. So it's really focusing on what is good in that area, and that's going to bring you more abundance in every area. David Snyder is an amazing guy for subconscious training. I tell you what, William, I don't know much about him, but I tell you what, who else is good is Bob Proctor. He's amazing. I know that you didn't really resonate with his meditation, but he's really good. He's done a lot of research on the subconscious and the conscious mind and how we can change that. So I might do a training for you guys on that one night because it's really fascinating. We can actually change our subconscious minds. It just takes training. We can do it. Is that what David does as well, William?
So David Snyder, he's a hypnotist. He does NLP and the whole of spiritual stuff.
Okay. All right. This sounds interesting. Maybe we'll get you to do a little training on that one day.
One day, small steps.
This is great. You'll be great, William. You and Alpha can do it together. You can. And yes, definitely, Carrie, the secret is amazing. So the only thing with the secret is the secret gives you the basic outline of what the law of attraction is. It doesn't give you the tools. So yes, I love the secret, but if you want the tools, you need to kind of delve more into how can I make this work for my own life. And I've actually got one of the books. I think it's I can't remember which one, but it's actually got the tools around how you can actually make that happen. But honestly, in simple terms, how you do it, I can tell you right now if you want to know. Do you want to know? Yeah. So what you do is you write down what it is that you want. So I did this. This is how I found my husband and this business. So what I did was I wrote down specifically what I wanted in my life partner. And I wrote down, and now this has to be in positive tense. So you don't want to be putting any negative words in there, because what your subconscious does and the universe does is it picks up the negative words and it runs with it, because that's what your subconscious is trained to do. It's just what it does. So you want to put everything in positive tense. For example, I'll give you an example here. So I didn't want somebody who was a smoker or a drinker or a druggie. So I, instead of putting, I wanted a non-addictive personality, I put, because it had the word addictive in it, I just put mentally stable and emotionally stable. So think about how you can put that in positive tense. Put down all the attributes that you love in someone, that you want to have in somebody. Put down everything that you want to do with that person. Mine was 2 pages long, and I'm married to him now. And honestly, when I met him, I ticked every single thing off those 2 pages. Honestly, every single thing. So it really does work. Now, the other thing is you can also do it in like your business. So for example, I was in a job that I hated at the time, and I just wrote down everything that I wanted specifically in a job. I wanted flexible hours. I wanted so much income. I wanted to have it work around my children because I had young children at the time. I wanted personal development. I wanted leadership opportunities. There was all these things that I'd written down. And then this business came into my life, and I realized, whoa, after I'd been in it for a few months, oh, this is this business. That's what this is. So, and so once you've written that down and you've been really clear around it, you want to make a copy. Okay, and make sure that these are separate. So if you're looking for a life partner, you want to keep that separate from, looking at your business and what you want in your business. You want to make these both separate. Make a copy of each one, and then you're going to burn one. Now this has to be burnt outside, either in your fireplace or outside, because you don't want the smoke to be in your house. You want it to be outside, because it's going to the universe. The other one you want to stick in a place where you see it every day. Now put it on your wardrobe, on your mirror, on your fridge, wherever it is that you're going to see it every day. And every time you look at that list, you feel what it would be like to have that in your life. And you say, thank you, universe, for bringing this into my life. Thank you, God, whatever it is your superpower, your power. And believe it, feel it. Because one of the things we've got to do is we've got to engage not just the thoughts, but we've got to engage the feelings, because that's what brings it about. That's that feeling of joy and happiness, right? Because one thing about the law of attraction is you ask, you believe, and you receive, right? The 3 steps: ask, believe, receive. Now, this is what the law of the secret will tell you, but it doesn't tell you how to do that. Every single thought that you have, every feeling that you have, and every action that you make, you're asking the universe for something. So when you're thinking about how broke you are and how you can't afford to pay the groceries this week, you're asking the universe, right? Every time you're thinking about how much you hate your neighbor and how you wish he would just shut up, you're asking for him to just keep going, right? And keep being annoying. So every time you're asking for, you know, I want this person in my life, thank you for bringing this person into my life, that's what you're asking for. Now, the next step, so every time you ask, you are always going to receive. It's just the way that the law goes, right? You ask, you're always going to receive. And so a lot of people will say, oh, but how come I'm not getting what I asked for when I've been asking? That's because they've forgotten the key to this whole thing, and that is believe. We've got to believe it. If we don't believe that it's going to happen, it's not going to come to us. It's coming to us, but it can't get to us because we're not in the right vibration. So believing means we're aligned with it. We're in the right vibration, right? So, and believing it, just know, so you have faith. Okay, it's going to happen. Thank you, universe, for bringing this into my life. And this is what this exercise is with this list. You see it, you say, thank you for it. That is belief. That is believing it's going to happen. And I just want to tell you one thing, because time means nothing. It took me 2 years for Pete to come into my life. 2 years. I had that list on my wardrobe door. And 2 years I was saying, thank you so much for bringing him into my life. But I tell you what, he came. And it's the moment you go, oh, this doesn't work. What's the point? It's a waste of time. That's when the universe will go, oh, okay. And it will let it go. So you've got to be, it's the same as this business. You've got to be consistent in your thoughts. You've got to be consistent in your emotions, your feelings, consistent in your actions, and believe it, because it will happen. It didn't take quite so long for the business to come into my life. I think it was only 8 months or something. But honestly, the more you believe it, the sooner you believe it, the sooner it comes in. And things are happening so much faster now than they used to anyway. The frequency is so much quicker. We've evolved, we've evolved so much more than we were, 10 years ago. So things are coming in a lot quicker now. So, yeah, let me know, you guys, what you do, what your lists are about, what you want to bring into your life. It might be just, it might be good health. It might be, better relationships. It might be that you want to focus on one person in your life that you don't get on with so well. Because at the end of the day, whatever you put down there, either the universe is going to do one of two things. It's either going to help heal that relationship or that situation so that you can move forward and have what it is you want. But if it's not, if the other thing is, if that's not possible, they'll have that person or that situation leave your life so that the right person or situation can come into your life, right? So remove it to make way, open the door for something new and better to come in. Okay, so the thing is, we always get things when we the way that we least expect it. We might have this idea in our head that this is the way that we want it to come in. This is what we want, but it's not the what. Sorry, it's not the how. It's the what we need to focus on. So what is it you want? The how is what the universe does. It's the universe's job. You don't have to worry about how it's going to happen. You just got to focus on what it is that you want, and it'll happen. Trust it. Okay, guys, so I hope that was helpful tonight. Awesome. And have a really beautiful evening. See you later. Bye.
Is Kat's training still on at 9?
I'm not sure, honey. I didn't know she had one tonight. Did she have one tonight?
The intention training.
Oh, right. Yes, probably. Yes. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm a bit out of
No, you're right.
with that.
It's absolutely fine.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Normally, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That's all right.
Bye.
See ya.